everyone, into the Sporty Show. Happy Thursday to you all, and a pleasure to have you joining us as always. I am your host, Sara Pararia, and I'm joined by the one, the only, Mr. ClintonCod.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Y'all doing all right? What's going on? What's going on? It's a beautiful day the Lord has made to talk down on Arsenal's win yesterday, which was a fluke. But we'll come to that. Let's introduce Alex Ashmore, who would be assisting me on talking down Arsenal this evening. Alex, what's up, man?
Doing well, doing well.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, it's almost the weekend. Football is going to be in full swing in a couple of days. I'm excited for what's to come.
Yep.
Full swing, to be fair. I think we've had football every single day this week.
It's been a brilliant week. You know, Bundesliga, Serie A. We haven't had La Liga. That's probably been the
Copa del Rey.
Copa del Rey, Premier League. It's been good. I've been entertained.
Non-stop action. And there's non-stop action here at Sporty TV as we have a weekend full of football, as per usual. Today we have Al Ittihad versus Al Raid. In the EuroLeague basketball, we have Real Madrid taking on Olympiacos. A-League sees Western versus Central Coast. Roshin Saudi League has Al Tawoun versus Al Nasser. In the EFL Championship, it's Burnley versus Sunderland. Tomorrow, back in the A-League, we have Adelaide United versus Melbourne, as well as Cardiff City versus Swansea, back to the EFL. Our Premier League match of the weekend is Brentford taking on Liverpool. And our Bundesliga match of the weekend is Leverkusen taking on Borussia Mönchengladbach. We have the Super League in Greece, Aris versus PAOK on Sunday. And we'll wrap it all up in La Liga with Valencia versus Real Sociedad. So stick to Sporty TV. We have lots and lots of football ahead for you this weekend. Guys, just a friendly reminder, Sporty FM has launched in Ghana, so we're very excited about this. Gary is leading the way. Hopefully he'll be joining the show because it's a very big one for him. But yeah, Sporty FM has launched the main channel for sport in Ghana. So if you guys are there, please listen. And we're excited to watch this journey continue. All right, let's get right into it. North London is red. Once again, Arsenal have beaten Tottenham Hotspur 2-1 at the Etihad with goals from, well, actually a lot of own goals, really, if you count. Oh, I just have my producer in my ear. All right, let's have what's on today's show.
Today's show features a packed lineup. The North London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham. Manchester United hosting Southampton, while Liverpool will face Brentford. In La Liga, Leganes take on Atletico Madrid, while Real Madrid, fresh off a defeat, face Celta Vigo in the Copa del Rey round of 16. To wrap things up, we'll dive into the latest transfer news.
Yes, our producer Ben has a new voice, it sounds like. All right, back to it. North London is red. And Clinton, let's jump right in because you kind of gave it away in your little introduction, but what do you have to say about Arsenal and this one?
Well, it was very obvious that the win was a fluke.
Why?
And firstly, the first goal should have been cancelled.
Why?
Clearly, it was not a corner, and everybody pretty much know what Arsenal are when it comes to corners. I feel like the Premier League should be working on actually making sure that the VAR room is not just looking at fouls and whether people should be sent off or whatever. They should be looking at corners as well, because these things, they are beginning to, steal something away from teams. For example, yesterday, the game could have ended, because the fact is, the moment that goal went in, within, 1 minute or even less, the next goal came in. And you could tell that what could have happened was the Tottenham players were demoralized, because I don't know if they knew that shouldn't have been awarded as a corner to Arsenal. When we saw the replay before they took the corner itself. My question is, if we could see the replay just before the corner is being taken, knowing what Arsenal they've been doing this season with corners, everybody know that for Arsenal, corners are not just ordinary set pieces. It's almost as good as being a penalty. Sometimes almost as good as being a free kick, because of how much the players are. I mean, we're going to give credit to them. They are good at corners. Gabriel, who's a defender, I cannot count how many corners that man has scored so far. As a matter of fact, if care is not taken, he's going to get up to Cristiano Ronaldo goals just by scoring corners, right? So listen, when you look at Arsenal as a team, I feel like if VAR has to check every corner, it has to be any game Arsenal they are playing, because they know what they are capable of doing. That corner was meant to be a goal kick because it didn't come off a player from Tottenham. It literally, I can't remember which player that was on that.
It might have been Havertz. I could be wrong.
I can't remember now. But it was very clear, like everybody could see it. So why giving them a corner and now they consider goal? And I'm sure that they were demoralized because fact is they did put up a game against Arsenal. I understand that Arsenal could have had even more goals, but both teams were doing their best to make sure that they were avoiding goals. They were just lucky somehow, from the two goals. The two goalposts. And some people would say, oh yeah, but they've done it to other teams. Of course, I'm not going to say it's just for Arsenal, but they should be looking at corners. At the people who work at the VR ref should say, hang on, ref, I don't think that's a corner. Give it as a goal kick. Because if they take this corner and it gets in, the team who are affected, they are not going to be happy. If I was a Tottenham player, and after that game, I go watch everything, and I realize that, hang on, if they give this as a goal kick, that game probably would have ended draw. Who knows? Or we probably would have won the game because we pretty much had a goal.
That's perhaps where the rule should be changed, because they obviously can't look at the corner once the whistle's been blown and the corner's been taken, because that's then the previous play. That's where perhaps the rule should be changed. If a corner is given and then a goal comes from the resulting corner, they can look back. It shouldn't be one of those things where they go, I'm going to look at VAR and look at this corner, but it's something the VAR booth can do while the corner's going on, just to double check, and then they can say to the ref, actually, that wasn't a corner.
Listen, for me, I feel like corners are not even that complicated to look at, right? It's not like, say, you've raised your leg up to somebody's face or you've done something crazy and then they need to analyze and then need to use their brain to think, to say, okay, hang on, what should we do at this situation? All right, let's get the ref to go to the VAR and go and check. There are situations that demand that kind of investigation. But I think that corners are pretty much straightforward, though. You just need to look at which person's leg the ball came off from just before he went out. For me, it's meant to be that simple.
There needs to be more fluid conversation between the referee and the VAR booth, because at the moment it's the referee who decides to go over to the VAR booth and look at something. There's only a certain number of incidents that he can look at the VAR booth for, but the people in the VAR booth, with the technology, with the computers, with the angles, with the screens, they should be, and I'm sure they are periodically checking things, but they should be able to say to the referee, you made a mistake there, or to the linesman, you made a mistake there. That's not a corner. That wasn't a throw into that team. You've made the wrong decision there. And it would make the game, people would argue that it would slow down the game. No, but if they're doing it while the play's going on and say it goes out for a corner, 5 seconds, they check it. In the air, referee, that's not a corner,
Absolutely.
It's a goal kick. It would improve VAR so much, and I think make it a lot more fluid. Whereas at the moment, it's a bit archaic and it feels like it's not being used to its full potential.
Let's take this to our resident Gunners fan. Mr. Gary L. Smith joins the show here. Smile on the face, Gary. Doesn't matter how you did it. Happy to see that you're happy, Gary.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Okay,
Gary,
talk to us about this corner. I know you've been listening on in.
Sorry, but Gary, is this some kind of power cut in Ghana or something? What's going on, man? I can only see
No,
your
I'm not
teeth.
sure what's happening. It's better now.
Because he has the natural light coming
I
from
think so.
behind him.
Okay, all right.
We'll make do. We'll make do as long
Yeah,
as we
so
can
you were
hear you,
saying-
Gary. Talk to us about that
You were
corner,
saying-
or the lack thereof, maybe, that should have been.
Look, yesterday we did say that it could have gone anyway. After the game, Ange, you saw what he said. He said, "This is not who we are." That's so crazy. I mean, I don't know why he would say this is not who we are, but it gave you an idea that he probably genuinely thought, it was one of those games that could go either way, and it happened to go our way. The own goal, I think, made the difference, because then Spurs had a chance to make it a draw, and Alex would have been correct, or would have gone on to win, I think, taking another opportunity. But I think yesterday we were just a tad better, if you like, and we carried the day. I don't think we were too exceptional as well. And I saw a lot of Spurs fans angry because they are losing faith in the manager. And I don't know if that's the right reaction. I mean, I'm not a Spurs fan, but yeah.
Gary, sorry, let me just cut you quickly because I feel like you are being very political, which I understand is your team. But the question here is the first goal that you guys, or as Tottenham conceded after they had scored Arsenal, that was clearly, which I understand it happens in the Premier League, different errors from refs and whatever, but it was clearly not a corner to Arsenal, right? Before, and you know what the funny thing is? Before they took the corner, we saw the replay that it was not it was a goal kick. And now they kicked the ball, the corner, and obviously Gabriel did score, which he normally does for Arsenal. As a matter of fact, if there's any reason why Gabriel is in Arsenal till this moment, it's not because of his extreme level of being one of the best defenders or whatever, but it's because of what he brings to the table when it comes to scoring from those kind of set pieces. Now, I am saying that if Arsenal was on the receiving end of this, let's say, for example, Tottenham did get a corner and they scored it, and then you as an Arsenal fan, you go to check and realize that actually that was not meant to be a corner, that's a goal kick. How would you feel?
Are you asking me as an Arsenal fan or as a sports journalist?
I am asking you as a sports journalist. That's a very good question, actually.
Right.
Your lookers.
Well, I would do a KlintonCod and say, I don't care. Because if Clinton can...
That doesn't sound like your sports journalist answer, Gary.
Yeah, no,
Definitely,
definitely, yes, yes.
Same way Clinton can say, don't look at me. Ademola Lookman is a top 5 player in Europe. You know I'm always going to stand for my boy. So yeah,
but that's me speaking as a fan, though. Yeah. But I've just told you to speak as a journalist, not as a fan or as some random guy who loves Arsenal.
I ain't wearing any journalist hats today, my man. It's Spurs. If you ask me about Man United, Chelsea, Real Madrid, that's fine. If it's Arsenal versus Real Madrid, Arsenal versus Man United, Arsenal versus Everton, Bournemouth, whatever, fine. You're asking me about Arsenal versus Spurs, journalist hat off, fan hat on. Come on, you Gunners.
Well done, Gary. I mean, in all fairness, Clinton, it's not really on Arsenal. It's not really on Spurs.
Definitely.
It's obviously like poor refereeing, and Arsenal took advantage of it like any other team would. But there is a bigger picture. It is the situation of VAR, like Alex said, maybe that they can, have a conversation while a game is ongoing. And like you said, if it also leads to a goal, then, we can look back and maybe make a different decision. Like when there's an offside, it's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I mean, this game, though, it could have gone either way. To be honest, unfortunately for Gabby, that actually didn't count as Gabrielle's goal. It's a Dominic Solanke own goal. Son got the goal, but that also deflected off Saliba. Like, this is what kind of game it was. It was own goals. It was, controversial calls. This is the North London derby, and, Leandro Trossard was able to capitalize. That, in my opinion, really poor defending from Spurs and really bad goalkeeping from Kingsley. I know he had some really good saves that kept them in the game, but I also think we saw a little bit of his age showing in the lack of experience he had.
Yeah, I asked Noah actually, who we had on the show yesterday.
Oh, Noah.
What did he think of the performance? And I got quite a tirade of messages, and it just says, just horrific, an abysmal performance, one of the worst I've seen in North London derbies in years. Arsenal, he said that the Arsenal players wanted it more, and just said that the senior players in the Tottenham squad were a joke. And I think when you look at how some of the players in that team, like Heung-min Son, like Kulusevski, yes, James Maddison didn't come on until later on in the game, the leaders in that team, the few that there are, because obviously a lot of them are injured, it felt like they needed to take more onus, needed to step up more, and they were completely dominated for large parts of the game, especially in the first half. They came back more into it in the second half. But when you look at Spurs' quality, yes, you can use the injuries as an excuse, but they have so much quality in that team, and they have the ability. Arsenal were there for the taking at some points. You look at the counter-attacks that Spurs had, the opportunities that they had. I do also believe, on the other hand, if Arsenal didn't have Raheem Sterling on that right wing, they could have scored about 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. that's another completely other subject altogether. But disappointing from Spurs. I think they lacked a lot of that. I don't know what would you call just a bit of oomph, a bit of, you know, this is a North London derby we're talking about. This is the biggest game in your footballing calendar of the season. It happens twice, sometimes more, and you're at your worst enemy's house. You're playing in their stadium. Yeah. Give it a go. I want to see tackles. I want to see you flying in and smacking the opposition players in hard tackles. I want to see you sprinting up and down the other end of the pitch. I think they lacked a lot of that. It felt a bit soft from Tottenham. And there were performances in there that I really liked. I thought Archie Gray was brilliant. Really young lad, filling in a position that he's not natural in. There were some players in there that did well, but it was really, really short of the mark from Tottenham.
And you know, go ahead.
Is there any reason why in such a big game they don't get to start James Maddison? Like, sometimes, do you not think that is some kind of coaching
error
from, because sometimes, I mean, this is a big game. It's a bit like Liverpool playing in Manchester United or Manchester City or Arsenal, and then you see maybe Mo Salah on the bench or something. Like, I don't get the whole. I mean, I don't know who taught them this or which coaching academy sometimes these coaches go to, or what goes through their head. You don't have such a big game and you have such a senior player who's playing at such a high level at this point, very skillful, you know, does a few magics on the pitch. Like, how do you leave him on the bench facing an Arsenal that you should be taking advantage of, knowing that they have quite a few? What Arsenal they are doing at this point is they know that they have a few players who should be starting, but because of injury, they don't. So they try to put the best out, facing a Tottenham. And Tottenham is saying, hang on, Maddison, chill, let's start. Like,
especially looking at how bad that midfield, I think, for large parts of the game got run over the Spurs midfield. They were not existent.
Yesterday was almost like
I
don't get it, man. No, honestly, if they decide to say, we need to sack this man, like, you know, before we went into the game, I said to you guys, obviously, when he first came, the first season or second season, it felt like he was a promising guy. You know, he showed that he knew what he was doing. But when you're making this kind of decisions in this kind of big games, and they call for your head to say you need to leave, at this point, you can't even defend them.
Okay, quick one then. Between Arteta and Postecoglou, who do you think would get sacked first based on the way these two teams are going right now? And also for those of you watching at home, because both teams, I think, are in the hot seat, right? I mean, Spurs are right now 13th. They're tied, in fact, with Crystal Palace in 14th. Meanwhile, Arsenal, okay, they're in second, which is fantastic. But, Gary, as you know, how many times is your team going to do this? Let's see what happens in the Champions League. They're knocked out of the FA Cup. Who do you think gets sacked first?
Andrew, obviously.
And
for me, and I can tell you easy what I think.
Did you not hear what Noah said, though, yesterday regarding Daniel Levy? And he was saying that we need to stop sacking managers because we need to prove to the upstairs and the owners that it's not, in fact, the manager, that it's the ownership and the decisions that we're making and, you know, probably the players that they're bringing up and whatever. But does that not...
That is entirely true, but that's what should happen. But Daniel Levy isn't going to let that happen because then that shows him up. And if he keeps Ange Postecoglou in a job and they continue to perform bad, and it's obvious that they need to sign more players, people will start looking at him and going, where's the money? Well, why aren't we signing these players? Yeah, if you sack Ange, you've got a scapegoat there. Blame it on the manager, bring someone else in, a little bit of optimism like they had last season. They finished just outside the top four. You have that new era kind of feel. And Daniel Levy stays in a job. And, you know, personally, I think it should be the way that they let it run until people realise that it's not Ange's fault, it's not the players' fault, it's coming from upstairs, and it's Daniel Levy.
Clinton?
Now, for me, I was just going to look at both managers and where they've taken the both teams to, right? When you look at Arsenal, of course, they had serious patience with Arteta. Arsenal, where they were before, you know, a couple of seasons ago compared to where they are now, you could tell that obviously there's been a very serious work that's gone on. And when you see Arsenal competing in that top four, you know, that's progress, right? Yeah, the problem is we know that getting a major title is still going to be a problem, which you never know. It might happen in the future.
when you look at the progress that Arsenal have made, I feel like if Arsenal had a proper striker, right, we would be putting them in that conversation of they could win the Premier League. Right now, they don't have somebody who's able to take their chances, and that's where they lack. It's not like they don't have the defense, they don't have the midfield, they don't have world-class wingers. Come on, we are talking about Saka being one of the best in the world right now as we speak. And then we look at that left wing, you have the likes of Trossard, you have Martinelli, you have these guys are really good players, right? But there's just there's nobody who's able to take these chances. Look at their injury list as well, right? But when you look at Ange also has these world-class players. But when you see the decline in what happens with Tottenham, knowing that they would even struggle in winning Tranmere, Tranmere, what do you call it? Right. Oh, sorry, Tamworth. I thought it was Tranmere. There's a team called Tranmere what is it? I think it's League 2 in England or something. Yeah, that's the one I thought they played. But when you see Tottenham struggling with the likes of Son James Madison, and they have to go into extra time, right? It's to tell me that there's something wrong. Like I'm talking about, there's no way Arsenal we're going to face. Arsenal would not even need to play Saka, Odegaard, and the rest, and they will win that kind of game easy. So for me, when you look at Tottenham, you can see a proper decline. Judging by the caliber of players that they have, there's nothing going on. Now the question to the coach is, what is your plan? Because the fact is, you don't have. For me, they don't have any excuse, bro. Look at Solanke being one of somebody who's literally a lion at this point. I used to struggle to win. Used to struggle to score goals. Your defense is weak, and you are making a decision where a James Maddison is not starting on a game against Arsenal. For me, you cannot blame top level or who owns the club or whatever. No, at this point, you are blaming the coach. So if there's anybody who should be sacked, for me, is the fact that you have such a coach who's coaching such a high-level team, making such rubbish decision. It just means that you're not ready for the job. And you need to go. They need to find somebody who is strong enough to make tough decisions, to get the best out of the players. Because fact is, Son, come on, man. You see, when you see Tottenham performing the way they perform, at this point, I can't even blame the players. I'm blaming the coach. There's just something he's doing wrong that's just not working. And I can't even back him up anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, Gary, it may have been I'm not sure what's happening here. Gary, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can see you.
Perfect. I can't see you, but I can hear you, so I'm hoping everything's just fine. Listen, maybe a bit of a lucky win there, but I know Arsenal fans and yourself are going to be happy about it regardless of the way it happened. But now this weekend, there's another big match for the Gunners in Aston Villa. How do you think this win will affect the motivation of the players? What are you guys going to take from the win against Spurs to try and take out Aston Villa, who we know are a much more exceptional side than Tottenham Hotspur?
We are on our way right now to. Oh, right. So right now we are testing Sporty FM, right? Because yeah, that's what we are doing.
What?
We are on our way. We are on our way to, possibly. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I'm hearing some songs there, so sorry. So basically, I am saying that Arsenal are on our way to a possible second place finish if we follow Liverpool and we keep at these performances. We have to just hope that Liverpool slip, but we have to do our part by constantly winning. We have to do our part by constantly winning. And I think Aston Villa should not stop us. The team talk should be simple. We have better players. We are we are a better team at the moment than Aston Villa. I'm hoping Mikel Arteta is able to bring, the best players in their right positions. That's always been a problem for a while now. In their right positions against Aston Villa. Keep it simple. Not try any new funny tactics. And I think that we can still be breathing down the neck of Liverpool and hoping that their game in hand that they have will be a loss rather than a win.
Do you think that Arsenal have better players than Aston Villa in this moment? Yeah.
Sorry, was the question for me? Sorry? No, I thought it was for Alex.
Do you have a little nap?
No, definitely.
Do you want to answer it, Alex?
I mean,
sorry.
It's difficult.
Do you think Arsenal have better players than Aston Villa in this moment?
Well, I think they do.
Okay.
I mean, when you look at Aston Villa, yes, they do have really good players. The only one thing or credit I would give to Aston Villa is the fact that the kind of players they have are not the type that people are mounting the kind of pressure they will put on Arsenal player on. So basically, when you look at, I mean, my star boy,
What's his name, Clinton?
Go on, you can do this.
God, Jesus
John Duran.
Christ. John Duran, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the likes of, John Duran and then the one that's come from Leicester to
Thierry
Aston Villa as well.
Tielemans.
Tielemans is somebody I respect so much. You guys don't understand. I've seen him shoot some crazy shots that you think this is some bomb from Boko Haram in Nigeria, descending to the net. But they have quality players, but you're not going to compare it to the Arsenal that have had this much experience playing top level football, obviously Champions League football, European football, competing. And when you look at, come on, we don't want to start mentioning players in Arsenal. I feel like they have the capability of, pulling up proper win against Aston Villa. But then again, like I said, Aston Villa, they are playing based on the fact that there's no crazy pressure mounting on their players. And that's why and then again, when you look at the coach too, I feel like he's more of a serious coach and a very no-nonsense type of coach compared to Arteta, if you ask me. He's the type of person whom I feel like should even be coaching at Tottenham at this point, if it was possible, because you would see him trying to bring out the best. Like I see Ange, I'm sorry we're coming to Tottenham again, but Ange is that guy who literally would just stand there, watch players just play whatever, and when I was even watching the after game interview, I was very, you couldn't even look at the camera. Like you could, in my head, I'm like, wait, what's wrong with this guy? Is this guy sick or something? What's going on? But I'm not going to compare Arsenal to Aston Villa. Both quality teams. But when it comes to the individual players, I think I'm giving it to Arsenal.
All right. Well, I've just heard that Gary has to leave us, unfortunately. So we'll send you off, Gary, and we'll finish our Arsenal conversation then. So give us a score prediction for Arsenal and Aston Villa, because this one, I think it'll be a bit of a better match than the North London derby.
Yeah. And we don't do well in the better matches, do we? So going for, we will concede. I think we will concede. So
My man, I like that.
2-1 or 3-1. Yeah.
But Arsenal to win, though.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Silly.
Loyal
I
here.
know. I mean, you never know with Gary. 'Cause sometimes Gary will want to be very honest with his answers. He'll just be like, nah, I see, but okay.
No, but now we need to start getting wins, to keep breathing behind Liverpool's back, because we are warming up into the title race proper. And if they go beyond the January transfer window, 6 points ahead of anybody in second, you are going to have problems.
I think this is the game I can tell you for free. And sorry, Gary, I know you have to go ASAP, but this is the game where I can easily tell you that sorry to Arsenal. Like, this one is going to be very tough. This is not going to be a Tottenham. We know Aston Villa. We know what they are capable of. And if they are going to go with the performance that they had with Tottenham to Aston Villa, they're definitely going to lose the game.
It's at Emirates, so that's playing in their favor. But obviously, we know they have lost at Emirates this season as well.
At this point, it's not even by stadium these days, Like, if it's by... You know what? I understand that the fans, the whole chance, the backup. But I'm one of those people who don't believe so much in the fact that we play...
Certain stadiums do have certain... atmospheres, more so than others, like
Bro,
Signal Iduna and Dortmund.
Leganes went to Barcelona and they beat Barcelona. Where were the fans? That's the thing. Like,
because Barcelona aren't playing at the Camp Nou. I don't think that... I would never compare that stadium to the Camp Nou.
I think Arsenal, in this case, it does help, because they're unbeaten at home this season, 7 wins, 3 draws. So when you are looking at, I think, look at
Barcelona has come to Real Madrid and they've talked, like, they've beaten us proper. Where were the Madridistas? Why did he not?
Well, I wouldn't say the Santiago Bernabeu is one of the best stadiums in Europe because full of tourists. That's why I'm saying some. I'm saying Signal Iduna, Dortmund, legendary. St. James's, Newcastle, legendary. There's certain ones. Yeah, Letty, great stadium. I mean, there's certain stadiums in Europe that are a little bit more notorious. Maybe Emirates, I don't know, Gary. Maybe you got to talk to your fans over there in London. But, okay, we got to let Gary go. We got to let you go. Hope for the best. I hope you have a lovely weekend, Gary. We'll see you again on Monday, and maybe you'll be just as happy as you were today. Who knows?
Hopefully, all the best to your respective teams, except Tottenham Hotspur.
Alex, before we wrap up,
Gary, before you go, can you just give me my boy before you go, please? Just give us some
Let's go.
TTT.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Come on, go on.
Everywhere. TT. T.
this is a chaotic show. It's ridiculous. Alex, really quickly before we wrap up, Arsenal, Aston Villa. The storyline of Mikel Arteta and Unai Emery has to be one that we're all watching. Obviously, two Spanish coaches in the Premier League. And like Clinton mentioned, Unai Emery is probably regarded as,
One of the greatest.
One of the greatest of, nothing against Mikel Arteta, but look at what he's done in the past and the way he's competed in Europe. He's incredible. And I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on both of these two.
And he used to be at Arsenal, so there's a little bit of,
There's-
not bad blood, but I think for Unai Emery, there's a point to prove. I think whenever he goes, especially to the Emirates, I think and it's natural, you'll want to prove the fact that you are a good manager, and he'll want to get the 3 points for Aston Villa, 3 points that would be really helpful for them, could propel them towards the top four as they've slipped off a little bit in the last couple of weeks, and with a big Champions League couple of weeks coming up as well, I think this was a really important game for Aston Villa. And when you look at the moment that Arsenal are in and the way that Arsenal are playing, I think they are definitely beatable. And I think if you play well on the night, we've seen how well, like the names that Clinton has mentioned there, Ollie Watkins, Jacob Ramsey, Morgan Rogers, John Duran. It's an exciting team to watch, Aston Villa, and I think they might surprise a few people this weekend. Maybe not even surprised.
I was going to say, I don't even know if it's surprising anymore, because I also think, fortunately for Arsenal, I think Tottenham made them look better than they were.
I do think one thing that perhaps might go against Villa is their away form. They only have 4 wins away from home this season, 1 draw and 5 losses. Arsenal being so strong at home. I think, maybe the extra night of, they both played on the same night, so there's no extra night of rest, but maybe the extra added influence of playing in front of your home fans might give Arsenal the motivation they need. But I think it'll be a really tough game, like the one we saw at Villa Park back in October, I think it was.
All right, well, let's move along. Another very exciting match that we saw yesterday was none other than Newcastle beating Wolves 3-0. And Alexander Isak is breaking records for Newcastle, scoring in 8 consecutive Premier League matches. He has 11 goals and 3 assists in 8 matches in the Prem, 15 goals and 5 assists across the season. Alexander Isak is the best striker in the world right now.
In the world, I can take that too, actually, right? But some people might argue to say, okay, where do you put the likes of Mamouche, right? Because when you actually look at his numbers, are we good? No, but for real though, let's be serious. Go check it. Go check it.
In the world at the moment, I don't think Mamouche comes close to what Isak is doing.
Hold on. I'm happy you guys are saying this. You know why? Because now you're not because Alex, I know normally you would have gone to check. Let's look at goals and assists quickly. This is usually your job. But I will tell you for real, I'm gonna go with this man being the best striker.
Isak or Mamouche?
Isak.
Yeah.
As the best striker in the world, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But I was just saying, for football fans who are very used to stats, going to check stats, yeah? If we are going to go by stats, why are we not speaking about Mamouche?
I think we should talk about it. I think he's a good player. He's a fantastic player. He's got over 30 goal involvements this season. He's not just going to get you goals, he's going to get you assists as well. And I think also perhaps what we do have to look at is the teams that they're playing in. I think Newcastle are probably a little bit better than Frankfurt, but there are better teams in those divisions. You've got Bayern Munich, you've got Bayer Leverkusen, you've got some really tough teams in that division. Isak, however, scored 12 goals in his last 10 games, I think it is. 8 consecutive games.
Breaking a record for Newcastle. No one's ever scored for 8.
If he scores for another 4 games in a row, he'll break Jamie Vardy's record of most consecutive games scoring in the Premier League.
Retire his jersey.
So I think, and also doing it in the Premier League. With all due respect to the Bundesliga, the Premier League is a more competitive and tougher league than the Bundesliga. And Omar Mamouche deserves his flowers. He's a fantastic player, and that's why City are looking at him. I think he'll be a really good signing for City if he can settle in the Premier League. But I don't think at the moment he comes close to what Isak is doing.
Why do you think he doesn't come close to what Isak is doing because of the league he plays for?
That's one of the reasons, yes.
And what other reasons? Because, I mean, if you are saying it's because of the league, I would take that as a reason, but I would not say he does not come close. I think that's more of a bigger. I want to understand why.
Let's do what we did the other day with left wingers. I want your top 3 strikers in the world right now in form. No, come on. And all of you at home too, please write on our YouTube or Twitter, wherever you're watching, comment your top striker or top 3, and we'll see. Well, Street Fighter's already saying Kane, so.
I'm going to go... It's tough. Top 1, Isak, without a doubt. I think second... Actually, no, come back to me. Come back to me. I need to think.
No. Because me, I'm trying to think. So then you better finish up.
Everyone's trying to think. It's hard to answer a question, isn't it?
Because yeah, it's a very difficult one. It's a very difficult one.
Okay, well, let's have a conversation about it, shall we? Because obviously, I read that Harry Kane, Street Fighter mentioned, Lewandowski. Both of them have 16 goals apiece in their respective leagues. I don't think we can. They have Harry Kane and Lewandowski have more goals than Omar Marmoush has in the Bundesliga and Alexander Isak has in the Prem. Just these are numbers. I think you have to look at those two.
But also across all competitions.
Well,
you count that in.
Yeah, of course. I think we should because Lewandowski has 7 goals in the Champions League.
Harry Kane's got 5.
So then, you know what I mean? But then some of these teams, okay, well.
That is also a factor to add into it. Newcastle aren't playing in Europe.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
And it's not knocking on the team for not playing in Europe, but when you're just playing once a week, yes, they have been playing in midweek. They played this week. They played last week in the Cup. But when you're playing once a week, it's a lot easier. I know the Champions League isn't every week, but when you're in that added European competition,
of course, I mean,
pressure.
Mentally, it does something to you. So at the end of the day, I think it's something to consider as well. But
Darwin Nunez? Keeping it light.
OMG.
Keeping it light, guys.
Nicholas Jackson?
Nicholas Jackson.
John Duran?
John Duran.
No.
Victor Boniface?
No.
Well, Victor Osimhen?
He's been injured. Boniface has
I
been
know.
injured. So Osimhen, no. To be honest, I think, off the top of my head, I think I'd have to go with...
Erling Haaland? Is Erling... Wait, quickly. Is Erling Haaland in the top 3 conversation?
Not at the moment, no.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so either, too, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, we've agreed on one thing. He's not in it.
Definitely.
Just for some... Okay. Sorry. There's one that we've really missed out on.
Hang on, wait. Hold on. Don't say it.
I don't think you're going to get it.
You don't think so?
I think Alex might get it.
Okay. All right. Alex, which one do you think you're missing?
Who cannot stop scoring in Europe? Cannot stop.
What league? Is that going to give it away?
Hang on, wait.
Talking about Retegui, are you?
No. Great shout.
Actually, that's a great shout too, though.
Victor Gyökeres.
Oh.
Actually,
True.
I was going to...
Nah! It's true.
That's true, you know.
Guys, we're struggling. We're struggling.
That's true, you know.
Yeah?
I think he deserves to be in there.
Yeah, no, definitely, for real. Yeah.
This is tough.
I'm still hoping that guy makes it to Manchester United, you know.
I think that might be my top 3 then.
So go on.
Gonna go Isak, Marmoush, Gyökeres.
No love for Chris Wood over here?
I would love to put him...
Bro!
I would love to put him in there.
No, but this one is tougher than the left wingers, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I think I'm going to stick with that top
Brian
3.
Mbeumo?
No, but Mbeumo though, I think Mbeumo plays more from the right wing most times.
Fair.
So I'm not, because I thought about him, but I felt like, especially with the last game that he had, you know, he's more on that guy that, you know, he would drift towards that right, and he's the one even finding the striker usually.
Guillaume said Muriqi, Larin, and Boniface.
Hey! Come on. I love that shout. We have Gyökeres shouts. We have Lewandowski shouts. Kane shouts.
I would love to put Kane in there. I would also love to put Chris Wood in there. This is tough. Isak's number 1 for sure. I think Marmoush.
No, Isak is definitely.
I think Marmoush has to be number 2. Number 3.
Marmoush, the only reason I'm thinking about Marmoush, like you said, because if we are looking at just pure football and what they are capable of, or are we looking at goals?
I'm looking at goals.
Oh, but you see, this is where I always have problems.
But
because
for a striker,
like I said, no. But hold on, I know you want to mention for a striker, this is their job. But if Marmoush had 10 penalties scored, are you still going to say Marmoush is there?
This is true, but I still think you have to score those penalties.
No, but it's not. No, but you're not going to compare somebody who scores penalties
to
somebody who is literally guiding the ball, chesting it, taking away 2 defenders and then scoring. Come on, man. Like, this is the thing when we rate players, right? Are we looking at just based on goals? Or are we looking at actually pure gameplay? Now, Mamouche, when you look at what he does, you would know that he's not just a goal scorer. My man is actually a footballer. When you look at Haaland, to me, Haaland is a goal scorer. Haaland is somebody who is very good at using his body. But when it comes to actually playing, being that kind of player that you would love to watch and enjoy playing, I don't think Haaland is that person. Do you see it? So this is what, this is my question. What are we considering them by? Is it by the goals or just by pure gameplay?
I think also you have to look at, and I said this before, the team that he's playing in. If you compare, yes, Frankfurt are a really good team, and I think they've got some brilliant players, but you look at the team that Harry Kane's playing in, Bayern Munich, the players that Bayern Munich have at their disposal, Leroy Sané, Jamal Musiala, some of these youngsters that they've got in their team, the midfield that they've got, the options they've got going forward, it's hard not to score so many goals. You still obviously have to give Harry Kane credit because he's scoring those goals, but when you look at Omar Marmoush doing it in a lesser team, let's be honest, you have to give him credit.
I can't believe we're not mentioning one striker, though.
Markinde, we're talking about at this moment, not of all time, in the present moment. Go for it, Clinton.
Do you know one striker we're not mentioning?
Give us a hint. Give us a hint. No, come on. Wait. Let me think.
I can't believe we didn't mention him. Oh, my God.
What league does he play in? What league does he play in?
The Premier League.
What? Oh.
Who are you thinking of?
No.
Oh, you're not going to say Højlund, are you, or someone like that?
Like Solanke?
Mad said of someone like that. Actually, yes, someone like that. Why?
You're not going to say Joshua Zirkzee, are you?
No.
Stop. This is a serious conversation. Who?
To be honest, I was going to say Havertz.
Stop. Profanity.
No, but for real though.
Get out. All right, guys, let's wrap this conversation up so we can talk more about Manchester United a little bit. So let's come up with a 3. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Nothing matters anymore.
Nah, I think for me, I would definitely go for Isaac. And I would go for Omar Mamouche. And it's now the last one I am really, really thinking about at this point, which is the really difficult one.
I'm going to go for Harry Kane.
Shock.
Honestly.
Absolute shock.
Honestly, I'm sorry, guys, but I'm going with Chris Wood.
Oh,
I love the shout.
I do love that.
I am going for Chris Wood. Because I just feel like, like I said, we would always look at the fact that, he plays for Nottingham Forest. And Nottingham Forest still comes with that aura of what they've been all this while in the Premier League. And we just tend not to take them too seriously. But when you look at what that my man does, bro, are they second in the Premier? No, actually, they are third. They are third now. Yeah. But knowing that the best team in the world at this point are still yet.
I think if you're going to give Chris Wood, though, you have to give Gyökeres because what he's doing is
fact, 100%.
I'm going to go for him. I'm going to go for Isaac for sure.
Yeah.
Third one, Marmoush. Lewandowski still making numbers. I also consider his age.
Yeah.
When you're 36 and you're still doing that, you're running for the Golden Boot.
Yeah, but then again, I'm also considering the fact that he's the caliber of people he's playing with. I feel like
Harry Kane, so
no, 100%. That's the reason why
I'm happy for Marmoush or Lewandowski, but Isaac, Gyökeres, Marmoush or Louis right now could change in a month's time. Let's see, but yeah.
How much do you think? Because I remember yesterday when Isaac, finished with the game on one of the sports channels, they were kind of like then trying to look at how much my man is worth now, right? In your own words, look at him being the best striker in the world. How much do you think he should be worth?
I don't know because nowadays football, everything is elevated.
Yeah, I mean, look at the elevation now.
Like he's over 150.
You think he's over 150?
I mean, if I'm looking at like how much certain players are going for and what he's doing right now, has to be.
Okay.
Do I think it's fair? Do I think people should? No.
Okay.
But in this day and age.
Yeah. What about you?
Repeat the question again.
I said in this.
Who took a nap?
Oh. Thank you. At this young age. So the question is, when you look at where football is in terms of how much the price, what players are worth, how much would you think Isaac is worth with his current form?
I think it also, the big thing that comes into this is Newcastle don't have to sell him.
No.
need the
Forget
money.
about.
We're not saying we
We're not
should
talking
No,
about.
I'm
we're just-
saying that I think that adds to it because Newcastle could say to Arsenal, "Give me 150 million," and they could even push it to 200. But I think around 150. If I was to give you a number off the top of my head, 150 million.
About the same. What do you think?
I mean, for me, I think it's worth about 162 million.
Yeah. So we're all 150 or up. This is insane.
The fact that I didn't do like a round figure like every
Oh,
other person did.
162. A nice solid 162. All right.
No, but when they were analyzing, some people actually felt that he should be as expensive as 200 million, and it based on how inflated. To me, it doesn't make sense.
No, of course.
For what he's playing now, when it comes to normal football, I think he should be worth about around 120 or 100 million, right? But it just means that the likes of Caicedo, who came to Chelsea for 100 million, for
Yeah.
me, he should be coming into Chelsea for like 65 million.
I mean, 10, 15 years ago, he's at 70 million.
Well, exactly.
65 million
Yeah.
at this moment in his career, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Newcastle are in action again this weekend against Bournemouth, and that should be a great match because we know how well Bournemouth have been doing of late. So we'll see what they can get done at St. James's Park. But let's move on and end the show with Manchester United because Manchester United are in action this evening against Southampton at Old Trafford before their big match, Alex, against Brighton on the weekend. Clinton, how important is it that Manchester United get this win against Southampton, knowing Southampton is last in the league? They have 6 points. They have only one win. If they're going to get a win, it should be against this team, especially knowing that they have Brighton around the corner, and Brighton tend to be a very tricky team to play.
Now, one thing I know for sure is we're definitely going to get a win. I can trust you on that. With Manchester, I think we've gone past that era where we would be scared about Manchester and facing really tiny teams. I think I am beginning to...
I don't know if I'm past it.
No, personally, I think... No, but, I mean, come on. Okay, let me give an example. Look at what's happened with Manchester City and what's the name of the team that they played in the...
Brentford.
No, it wasn't Brentford.
The 2-2?
In the Cup,
No, yeah, in the Cup. Yeah.
Oh,
Arsenal.
No, it wasn't-
No,
it wasn't
Plymouth
Arsenal.
Argyle?
What's the
Brentford played Plymouth, yeah.
Oh, wait.
No, I'm talking about Manchester City. They
With an
played
S.
the team and they
With
scored
an
about
S.
Salford City.
eight goals.
Salford City.
Yeah, it was Salford. That's the
City.
one. Yes. Right. Now, when you look at that kind of performance against such a rubbish team, knowing that they didn't even have to play the likes of Haaland and the rest of them, they did show you that we are more than you.
Right? This is what I see. Manchester United used to be that team that was like Tottenham currently, where they would face that kind of team. Manchester, they'll struggle. Remember when they faced Coventry and were 3-0 up, and then Coventry came from nowhere, scored three, equalized 3, and even scored an extra one that got cancelled by VAR. Right? I feel like Manchester will come past that point. Facing a Southampton, who are literally in the relegation zone, I think it's going to be an easy win because first of all, we have this pressure mounted on us at this point to say, yo, listen, we need to win games. Where we are in the table is not where we are supposed to be. And when you look at the caliber of players we have compared to what the team we are facing, you don't have any excuse. We have a new manager who's trying to make everything work. And I know that this guy is not just going to watch us play Southampton and not come out with not just an ordinary win, but a proper convincing win. And when I say convincing win, it's going to be that kind of game where it's like, an over 2.5 for Manchester United. And I know Onana would obviously consider a goal. I'm hoping that we have our new saviour starting the game. I mean, I hope so, because this is what I always say. If you have somebody giving that kind of performance, reward them by giving them, more time to play. Not having somebody save you in such a crucial moment, and then next time you decide to say, hang on, go chill, let's try this other person. No, Onana has been playing all this while. We know for a fact Onana would always consider goal. Whether it's an own goal, whether it's a goal that is, back passing to somebody, Onana must do something. That means, your heart would always continue to skip. But when you look at this new, young, Jesus Christ that we have in Manchester United, bro, if we give that performance that we had, recently, I see no reason why we're not beating Southampton convincingly.
Street Fighter said Man U and Southampton is a fair match.
Oh, God.
I mean, you talked about relegation, Clinton, and that Southampton is as a team in relegation right now. So are Wolves, and they beat you 2-0, though, not too long ago, December, like third week of December. And the thing is, I just looked at, okay, so the past 6 matches for Manchester United, lost to Spurs in the Cup, lost to Bournemouth, lost to Wolves, lost to Newcastle, drew Liverpool, and, of course, knocked Arsenal out of the FA Cup. So those last 2 matches, I think, are what's holding Manchester United, because obviously they're against 2 big teams.
No, absolutely. And what you've got to understand is facing 2 big teams, it just means that you've had to up your performance level to a certain extent, right? Where even if you are deciding to drop, you're not dropping to, you're not dropping so low that you're going to lose against Southampton. Like I said, we're under severe pressure. Amorim is under severe pressure. Even before they are going to go into this game, I don't think the team talk is going to be, we need to win. It's going to be, we have to win. Like, not just another, like, we need to start winning from first half. We need to start showing the fans that we didn't come to this game to get a draw or to win a 2-1. We are coming in to win proper, So, and I feel like this is also a game that the players would see as, I need to come shine. I mean, I don't. The only situation that Amorim, or the only behavior Amorim will show today that would convince me that he's not ready to be that manager we expect in Manchester United is if he starts behaving like Ange, where you know that this is a game that is a must win, but you start benching key players. For example, if I don't see Amad Diallo starting, or if I don't see Garnacho starting, and he wants to say, oh, it's a Southampton, let's start some youth academy, or I mean, I don't know, like, let's just start some random guy, or let's start Zexi, because the fact is, in as much as Zexi is a very, people think he's a good, I don't think he's a Manchester United caliber of player. You see him on the pitch, he does some unthinkable stuff sometimes, and you're like, hang on, is this Zexi? What's going on? But then again, that's some behavior that he will show for like 10 minutes. But what happens the rest of the 18 minutes? My man is just strolling on the pitch, and you will see him acting as if somebody's about to take him a picture and he's trying to pose. Like, the body language is not really showing. He doesn't, for me, even his pressing level is not even that authentic for a Manchester United player. So I'm hoping that Amorim is not looking at this Southampton game and saying, you know what, let's keep Højlund somewhere. Let's start Sexy. Amad Diallo, can you go chill? No. Bring in the men. Let's win this game. Every single goal counts at this point. So, no. Us not winning this game today is on Amorim.
It's good for the confidence as well. With all due respect to Southampton, if you can get a 4-5-0 win.
Well, knowing you have Brighton around the corner,
Exactly.
I think that's one big
for the
factor
mentality
here.
of the players.
No, but listen, when people say Brighton, yeah.
No. Because what we're not going to do is repeat, I'm having deja vu. In October, Manchester United are going to beat Brighton. Brighton have no business, and what happened?
This is
Don't
Amorim.
do it again.
This
Fine.
is Amorim, though. And mind you, Brighton isn't the Brighton we used to know. But let's continue.
Famous last words. Guillaume wrote, 16 days unbeaten with a lot of celebratory. Unbelievable. All right, guys. Well, that is it for us today. Clinton, you're actually off to Real Madrid versus Celta de Vigo in the Copa del Rey. So we're going to talk to you because, guys, it's not over yet. Alex and I will join you back in just 2 hours' time. We're going to do a little Copa del Rey, La Liga action, a little Serie A talk, Bundesliga, whatever we haven't basically covered here. We're going to talk to Clinton because he'll be at the Bernabeu. So we'll see you in a bit. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Real Madrid fans, please, Makinde, I'm going to represent us, okay? So stay tuned. Come back to Sporty TV. We are coming back. TT.
Boom.
Aguero!